Welcome back to the Pretty Spectacular Football Show. And today's a special day because it's my birthday. It's my birthday, and I wanted to do my show. I wanted to have a birthday show this year. So I pushed the show back from Tuesday. Y'all know I wasn't here last week because of Hurricane Helene and going through those motions. It was a very, very stressful time in my life. So I just decided that I wanted to have the show this week and to start it back off on a happy note, obviously having a birthday show. So today's going to be a short show. It's not going to be as long as I usually do it because I got things to do. Okay. So make sure you are dropping the happy birthdays in the comments right now. I need to see them right now. Balloons, the celebrations, little emoji, the happy birthdays, all those amazing things. So yeah, let's just dive right into the show as we always do. So on tonight's game plan, we have the audible alerts as always. That's the one thing that's going to stay consistent with the entire show every week. Then we have Blitz Brilliance, flag on the play, and then the game of the week. So see, very short. I did cut out some things this week, so I'm not going to keep talking about it. I'm going to just hop right on into it. All right, so starting off with the audible alerts, I've decided let's just hit it off running, right? And I'm so glad I actually waited to do the show because I can now report on this. So bye. So the New York Jets have like midweek, not even midweek. It was definitely early in the week. They had to fire, or they decided to fire their head coach, Mr. Roberts. Okay. And I had a thing on here too. It was like they fired him. They're going to have a new coach announced before their game on Monday. They're on Monday Night Football. And then it was reported that they had to escort him out of the training facility once they fired him. Let me fix this mic. Hold on. There we go. You know, I still am working on my green screen thing. We're going to work on it, but just pay attention to me. Let's see if I can put my arms back in there. It don't matter. You hear my voice. You see my face. You see the slide. But yeah, so he was reportedly had to be escorted off of the training facility property once he was fired. And I mean, you would have to escort me too, if I'm being honest. This show, I'm gonna be a little bit more opinionated than usual. It's just, you know, the day's about me. So this is what it's going to be. I really wish that my camera and my green screen were like, get it together. Much better. So I definitely think that they would have to escort me as well, because what do you mean? What are you saying? I do feel as though this was coming though. I felt this for a while over the summer and OTAs and things in training camp, when there was so much question about Aaron Rodgers, like where is he? What is he doing? What's going on? And then you had what is his name? Jesus, Hassan Reddick situation going on. And I just feel like there was just so much chaos and going, like so many moving parts going on with this team. The defense is good, but they're not great. And I feel like last season they were on the verge of being great. They had one of the top defenses last season. It just failed in offense. So I just feel like this season coming in, he didn't have any control of this team. He didn't have any direction for this team. And I felt as though when he talked to the media, and this is the thing, I know that sometimes the media can sometimes portray you in a negative light and portray you in a way that you're not supposed, that's really not appealing to you or appealing to people, because every time I see him in the media, I was like, just get him off the mic. Get him off the mic. I don't feel like he has any personality either. So, I mean, that's no reason to fire a guy. But I just feel like they've had a really, really slow start, and it was supposed to be much better than that. And I don't know if you can specifically just blame the coaches. You know, I always say that, like, you can't just strictly blame the coaches. You also blame the players, but they're not going to fire the players. So I don't think that he had full control of the team and the direction of it. And I feel like that was what led him to be in hot water. But I don't know if I actually agree with him being fired. Like, We're not even completely midway through the season. We're still, so I don't know. So that was the thing. But again, if it was me and I was him, you would have had to escort me out because I would have wanted some answers. We would have had to have a conversation, because yeah. And the GM said it was strictly his decision. GM or the owner, one of them. Either way, it was strictly their decision. So they just had enough. They had it up to here, and they said, "Buddy, you're out of here." Okay. So yeah. Bye. We're going to move on to sticking with NFL. We're going to move on to some player updates. The three key updates here is that we already know that Devante Adams has requested a trade from the Las Vegas Raiders. Some people are like, they didn't see it coming. Some people are talking about how the head coach, Antonio Pierce, got on, I think it was Instagram, and he liked a post, or maybe it was Twitter. Whatever it was social media, and I don't know when they'll figure it out. Social media is the death of you. It's always the death of you. But he got on social media and liked the post when a reporter or somebody was like, Devante Adams has played his last game as a Las Vegas Raider. So it's like that just exacerbated the situation, in my opinion. And then Devante was like, yeah, go ahead and trade me. And it looks like that's actually what they want to do. They're now coming around to the idea, some reports that I've seen. And I don't know really what to think about this. Honestly, I don't have like a necessarily thought. I feel like when I immediately think of this, I'm like, oh, he's trying to go back to Aaron. He's trying to go back to Aaron, bro. Which, I mean, Aaron wanted him from the beginning. Like, let's remember those things. Aaron wanted to take as many of his teammates to the Jets as he could. Right? And going back to this Jets head coach firing thing, this would be a really funny time if Bill Belichick was to come out of his like retirement and being on the beach with his girlfriend and be like, you know what, I'm gonna take over and be the head coach for the New York Jets. But that's just a funny thought, just like, because if you know. But going back anyway. I believe Aaron Rodgers obviously want them. I don't know if the Jets have the capacity right now. They have too much going on. They need to figure out who's going to be their coach, what they're going to do to get out of the slump that they're in, and how they're going to move forward for the rest of the season. So I don't think the Jets are even like, I don't think that they need to be looking at him at all. Like my super woke up. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it's from this year. I thought it was super cute. Has a lid and everything. I added my own straw because they didn't give me a straw. Anyway, Pittsburgh is allegedly interested in him, but I am not falling into that because the last time I fell into some Pittsburgh rumor news, it was about Brandon Ayuk, and look where he at. Not in Pittsburgh. So I'm not even falling for it. I'll believe it when I see it. Apparently, Russell Wilson is making his way back. He's almost ready to be the starting quarterback, but honestly, I just feel like they need to get Justin to a point where he's confident in throwing the ball down the field and he can hold on to the balls without getting fumbles. And I think he'll be just fine. Derek Carr is out for a couple of weeks. He has an oblique injury outside of the sad inning that they had playing against the Chiefs. And now the Chiefs are 5-0. The Saints started off blazing, like belt to butt. I can't say the other word. And then suddenly there was just like a decline. I just feel like they had a really bad game against the Falcons. Actually, they had a bad game against the Falcons because I don't know what they were doing there. And I just feel like they just haven't been able to get back to it. And now you have to put your backup quarterback in. So I have a question for everyone. Is the Saints season over? Is it over? Or could it be turned around in the next 2 to 3 weeks? I need those answers, especially from the Saints fans. What are you feeling right now? What are you thinking? I need you. This is the time where I wish I could call in my previous co-host, but you're going to see him probably on next week's show and ask him as a Saints fan, are you scared? Are you fumbling? Like, what's going on? Anyway, moving on to Sam. Nobody thought he would do it, Darnold. I mean, I personally did not have him on the top of my radar of being one of the top QBs of the season right now. Ooh, he is smoking, okay? He's doing what needs to be done. Him and the Vikings. The Vikings' first game was kind of like, But I also feel like the Vikings are a team. They're like one of those silent competitor teams. They've been good for the last couple seasons, like, making tracks of being good and getting on their way. And then this season, I feel like now, especially like where they are in these upcoming weeks that they've been playing, they really come into their scheme. They've come into what works. They've gotten some really good key components and players moving, and the success that they're having over there is not talked about enough, in my opinion. They're a team where a lot of people are not talking about it because I don't think a lot of people are thinking about them, but they're definitely competitors. They're definitely competing over there, and they are like top of the league right now. So that's the theme. That's the thing. That's the thing. Which leads me into top 5 NFL power ranking. So did I spell that right? Rankings. Is that right, y'all? Sometimes you look at a word, you look at a word and it's spelled a specific way, so you're like, oh yeah, that's right. And you look at it again, you're like, oh wait, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. It looks funny to me. Anyway, top 5 teams. So obviously we know there's a lot of teams. We're not going to go through all of them. We're going to go through the top 5. I was going to do the top 10 from week 6, and I just was like, no. Top 10, that was top, what am I saying? The NFL rankings on NFL.com was updated yesterday. And there's plenty of teams in the top 10. I probably can remember them all from top 10, but I ain't gonna do that. And I put the logos up here in no specific order because I didn't want y'all to know what I was talking about before I started talking about it. But there is a new number 1 for the top 5 power rankings. So within the top 5, and that number 1 is the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, you're probably thinking like, oh, it was the Chiefs. But it was the Chiefs, but now it's the Vikings. That's saying something. And I know we're only in week 6, but hear me out. I just told you that Sam Darnold and the Vikings are doing something special over there. Look out for them. They are doing what needs to be done. I'm just saying. I'm not, the only team I'm not worried about up here is the Chiefs. Never was worried about the Chiefs. Never. I'm just never worried about the Chiefs. I think it's absurd that the Ravens are up here as top 5. And it's not even me hating or anything. I just think it's absurd for the Ravens to be up here at top 5. Granted, they did play a good game against the Cincinnati Bengals, but then again, it wasn't. I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling them being up here. But it goes Vikings, Chiefs, Lions, Texans, Ravens, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look and make sure I got it right. Vikings, Chiefs, Lions, Texans, Ravens. Yes. Not surprised with the Texans. They were pretty good last season as well. So I feel like they're only going to continue to get better. And the Lions, y'all harassed Dan Campbell for nothing because look at y'all. Y'all up there in the power rankings. Y'all doing pretty well. So that's enough on that. Just wanted to put that out there. Moving on to college football, as you know, every week I talk about the AP poll top 25. Obviously, there's always some moving and shaking in parts. And really today, my key thing is talking about the top 10. The top 10 has fluctuated so much. Clemson has climbed their way into the top 10. Not surprised there with their 4-1 record and how they've been consistently with beating teams. They've been very consistent with their offensive scheme, so that looks good. Cade Klubnik, I'm saying it too fast. He's doing great. I am not surprised, honestly, by any of these. Not surprised. Maybe about the Nittany Lions. They crept themselves up there. University of Miami, I feel like. And here's the thing. In my opinion right now, I feel like the best 2 teams in college football, in my opinion, the best team. Hold on, y'all. Something fell back and my thing fell. Come on, get out my thing. Oh man, it's messing me up. I mean, it's not like the green screen. I like to be live because the green screen thing always just doesn't do it for me. But this is horrible. Hold on, y'all. Okay. I couldn't do it. You won't have me on here looking crazy. Anyway, I was talking about best teams in football. So for me, I'm going SEC. The best team obviously is the Texas Longhorns, and I feel like they've come into that conference and it really showed up in a way that I don't think a lot of people thought they were going to show up. Some people were not even thinking that they were ready to be in that conference, and they've shown like we now dominate the conference. So yeah. For the ACC, I feel like the best team in ACC is the Miami Hurricanes. I just do. Cam Ward and what they're doing over there is something special. Even when they struggle, they come out on top. They look good. They look real good. And Clemson is a close team behind them. Big 12. I don't know. I just feel like those two teams are the two that I care about the most right now because they're the best to me. The rest of the teams have potential, but I just think those two teams are the best. I think Tennessee is also really good. I told you Tennessee was a problem. They weren't that good this past weekend, but they're pretty good. So there's that. Moving on. Have y'all heard of Project Rudy? Now, I'm going to read a piece of it from the article because I understand it, but I'm going to have to bring it back again next week. But because it's been a hot topic within this past week, I wanted to bring it up because I got to stay on top of things. Okay. So Project Rudy, and this is an article from CBS, NCAA, FB. So it says, what is Project Rudy? New proposal to reimagine college football includes 70 teams and private equity backing. The private equity will come from Smash Capital. The 70-team structure would seemingly exclude the bottom tier of the FBS, and it would be privately funded by the private equity company that I have already said. The project would include $9 million infused into a system that would expand the college football postseason, change scheduling, and feature tiered revenue distribution. So the SEC commissioner is all for it. He feels like it's already a power league. They're calling it like a power league. The latest reimagination of college football now includes a multi-billion-dollar proposal spearheaded by former Disney executives for a system funded by private equity. Sources confirmed on CBS. What else? And essentially, as I said, removing the top tier, it would eliminate all games against current group of 5 and FCS teams. The 70 schools would be shopped as a single entity media rights package. And it is not immediately clear which 70 schools would be included. But I also want to note, this is why I'm going to do some more research on it too, is that the rights deal and all that will not start until about 2031, once all the current media rights deals and all that stuff is due to expire and will be up on contract. So they have like athletic directors, the SEC. Jesus, I cannot talk today. You would think I'm like, Jesus, oh my God. I'm just super excited and happy today. But you have former athletic directors, commissioners, a lot of people working in, and it's really between, like, at the top spearheading this too is the SEC commissioner and the Big Ten commissioner. They're really on this. They're really upon it. I was wondering when I was reading, like, well, where's the ACC people? And I keep forgetting the ACC is kind of going through its own little mess right now. So they're probably not trying to do anything, but trying to keep their conference together. You know, you have big schools wanting to leave their conference. So they're like, we need to work on some things. But I found it interesting too that the commissioner for the SEC got on and was like, we are a power conference. Like, I'm not going to hold y'all. Like, we are the best conference, you know. And I can't be mad at him because he might have ate with that one. I fear he might have ate with that one. But what do you guys think about this new Project Rudy, 70 teams? It's really just like I feel like it's going to be a league for the elite or something. I don't know. I feel like college football has become our new like professional football. Like everything from game day experience is better. It's just better. So I will give you more updates on this Project Rudy though. I wanted to bring it up to see like, and just tell you like reimagine football. Like football is changing. Football has forever taken a change. And I don't think it's ever going to be the same. And especially in these next couple of years, we're not going to be able to recognize what we're seeing, what we're looking at. Like it's just going to be completely different. And I don't think I'm mad at it, but I really also don't know how to truly feel about it yet. Let me know what you think. Really interested. Moving on to Blitz Brilliance. Before I move over there, I am going to play the commercial and give a shout out to one of the sponsors for MTMV Sports. That is the Ozell brand. So stay tuned, watch this commercial. Don't go nowhere.
It's not just about the love of the game. It's about dedication and commitment through the process and the patience to endure. There's joy in reaching your goals and peace in knowing you've done all you're supposed to do. Ozell brand. It's not just a brand, it's a lifestyle.
It's not a brand, it's a lifestyle. I don't know why my game of the week is not capitalized right here. What's happening? But anyway, we're moving on to Blitz Brilliance. The brilliance part is that Vandy beats Bama 40-35 at home. And I watched the second half of that game. I was like, somebody call Nick Saban quick. It wasn't, I would say it wasn't a bad game. It was a brilliant game. It was a brilliant game on Vanderbilt's part. I never thought that I would see the day where they beat them, being honest. I just felt like Alabama made some uncharacteristic mistakes. Like I didn't know what they were doing. Like it just wasn't polished or something. I don't know. They just did not look great to me. And I should probably give you more of an opinion than saying they did not look great, because that's not helpful. Let's see here. I can't believe that. But anyway, I'm going while I'm thinking about, I'm going to pull up the game. Okay. At the time, Alabama was number 1. So Vanderbilt managed to, both teams scored each quarter. The problem was Vandy came and had 13 points in the first quarter, 10 points in the second quarter, 7 points in the third, and 10 in the fourth. And Alabama did 7-7, 14-7. So it's like they were getting points on the board. I think it was a defensive thing. It was a defensive thing, and I feel like on both of them, because 35-40 to me is still pretty high. So I feel like it definitely was a defensive thing, and I feel like Alabama's defense definitely needs to get better. But I felt like that for a while though, even when they let Georgia come back and almost steal the game away from them. Like I feel like every week they do really, really good, and then like they're definitely not a second half team. They can figure out how to win. They couldn't figure it out against Vanderbilt, but they can figure out how to win, but they're just not they're not a good second half team. And I think that's primarily where their troubles are. They're just not a good second half team. And I feel like if you're going to be behind or you get behind, you have to then crank it up time 100 to be able to beat the team. Vanderbilt did get fined $100K because their fans and the students stormed the field after the win, because like what? They just won the Natty. Like that's that's literally what that game was to them. The game was the Natty. Let's be for real. Who's thinking about Vandy? Vandy's not probably going to get anywhere, but they definitely won the Natty, beating Bama. So yeah, they stormed the field. I watched it. It took them a long time to take that goalpost down. When we watched the Colorado Baylor game, I swear for you not, That goalpost was down in about five seconds. It took Vanderbilt like 40 minutes. They had to pan. They literally were trying to show them taking the goalpost down. They went to a commercial, came back, and it still wasn't down. So at that point, you deserve to fine. Because why did it take you so long? All y'all fans out there, it took you that long? Come on, be for real. But you know what? They weren't expecting it either. So I give them some grace. But I do think that it's kind of, I mean, I understand it, getting fined for rushing the field. But also it's like there was just like, don't they always rush the field? Do they not always rush the field? I'm so confused. I watch Clemson fans rush the field every time. So maybe it was because they took that goalpost. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the way that they did it. I don't know. I think they just let them celebrate, let them have fun. It was their natty. Like, come on, SEC. But it is the SEC, and Clemson's an ACC. So maybe they just got different strokes for different folks. I don't know. Another Blitz Brilliance, obviously, was Arkansas beating the Vols. I don't know why I was about to say Arkansas. I just said it'd be funny, but they beat them. Honestly, I don't know what was going on here. 19-14. Really good back and forth game. I just felt like Arkansas just showed up as the better team. And I think in their case for the Vols, it was one of those teams where it's like they expected to beat them. So they went in with that kind of like, we're going to beat you attitude. So you're just like, you're not, you know. And then Arkansas was like, nah, bro, we playing a full 4 quarters of football. We're coming hard. And then I felt like when Tennessee kind of got out of that little like funk, it was just too little too late. So they also got fined. Arkansas, this is their second time. So the fines work in tiers. So if it's or your offenses. So if it's your first offense, you get $100K. Second offense, $250K, which is what Arkansas got. $250K for the way that their fans and their students rushed and embraced the field and all that great stuff. But again, like you are a team, lower level, beating a top 15 team. Like you won the natty. You won the natty because for real, you just won a natty at that point, you know. But apparently, Arkansas breaks the rules all the time. They said we're not here to follow the rules, we're here to break them. So they said we'll pay it. Anyway, moving on here. The flag on the play. See, now it's all caps. Flag on the play. You know, I try to get the show to be perfect every week. And I understand that it's not always going to be perfect, but I hate when I see little things like lowercase letters or my fonts are different. And it's me and StreamYard got some beef or something. Or me and the services that I use and all that, and then putting it up on StreamYard, we got some beef. I'm gonna have to handle it. I'm gonna have to just handle it. But anyway, we're moving on to flag on the play. First flag on the play is that Watson has resolved his lawsuit. As I previously reported, there was another woman who came out with a lawsuit saying that Deshaun Watson also made her and forced her to give in those massages and all those things. And she was like, hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? Because how dare you pay off some other people and you don't pay me? And he paid. It's been resolved. And as his attorney said, it is confidential. No, we want to know. We want to know the details because you put it out in the media. It's in the details. You drugged this man through the media. Tell me what it is. How much he paid you. I need to know. You know? But to me, it's like, and I said it last season, and I've even said it on my personal show, Locker Talk, that I feel as though if you're not guilty of something, I wouldn't pay if I wasn't guilty. So does that mean that he's guilty? Does that mean that he's done it? Does that mean that very well his actions and his behaviors are kind of questionable and we should be turning our side eye to him? Deshaun. You know, and then it makes me question the NFL. It's like this man has now paid off 23 women, and his conduct and his behavior. And I understand he was suspended for a while, but it's just like I don't know what they would do. Honestly, they just suspend you and fine you and let you continue to play. But it's just unacceptable. And I feel like the nature and the message that they send with players like Deshaun Watson, it's just not a good message. You know, it's like NFL is. Obviously, they don't care about women. They care about the money. But I don't know, y'all. How do y'all feel about this? Let me know what y'all think. I really think it's important just to try to get some key other people talking about this. But yeah, he's resolved it. It's done as I thought it would be. I didn't think that he didn't go to court for the last 22. So why would he go to court for number 23? We knew that wasn't going to happen. Silently resolved it, kept it quiet. But of course, that lawyer had to let them know, yeah, he did it and he paid for it. Period. Next, Georgia football has more troubles. Georgia wide receiver Colbie Young has been arrested. He's now been released on bond, but he was arrested and charged. They call it a misdemeanor, and let me read it exactly. Arrested on battery charges, a misdemeanor assault of an unborn child. So I read 2-3 articles about it because I wanted to make sure I was getting the right information. He was arrested. The narrative that's coming out, and all this is alleged because it's still an active investigation. So it is alleged that his ex-girlfriend, I guess she's now the ex-girlfriend, but she went over to his apartment room, wherever he is at, resided, sleeps, whatever, and wanted to approach him to talk about the status of their relationship. She said, "Baby boo, you thought you was breaking on me? No, you're not." The narrative that I'm also including is part of my own, so just bear with me here. And then she got mad because she went over there and found out that he was talking to another woman on the phone. And she said, "Oh no, you got me messed up." So it's being alleged that he got upset. She was in his space in his room, and they're saying at first he grabbed her by the arm and put her outside of the door. He went in the door, closed it, locked it, finished, went on to do whatever he was doing. And then suddenly it says that I guess she was still there. It's not saying what she was doing. So I don't know if she was at the door, banging on the door. I don't know if she was just outside crying. I don't know. We don't know because the police report fails to say any of that, at least from what I read on the article. So either people are leaving it out or the report doesn't have it. So again, I can only go off what I know, and I don't have access to the report, and I'm really not going to dig it up. But according to the reports that I read that were from Athens, the Athenian, the New York Post, and things like that. So, and then it's saying he came out and allegedly he was mad and angry with her, and he like picked her up and was like around her, around like her rib cage and her abdomen, and was like squeezing her or whatever, and like, go away, move, type of thing. I guess he was maybe leaving out maybe at this point, and she still with her. I don't know. And then the police were called. She said he did it, showed the signs, and he was arrested. And they said that the police asked him, and he was like, it didn't come from me. I didn't do it. She did not have any marks on her arm. So when they first said he grabbed her by the arm and put her out, she did not have any marks on her arm. But they went and arrested him, and there's that. What I kind of find, what I didn't understand is I didn't know if assault on an unborn child, I didn't know that was a misdemeanor. Again, I thought that was a more serious charge, but it is a battery charge. So, and I'm assuming that she's pregnant, because if it's an unborn child, she's clearly born. She's clearly an adult. She's not a child. So that means that she is pregnant, and that's what she told them, that she was pregnant. So now it gets a little sticky, Georgia just keeps having problems. They just keep having problems. He did have a teammate earlier in the season or within camp who got released from the team because he was arrested on his second battery charge. There's that. And on an additional note, Georgia has had 10 players and 1 staff member arrested for driving related incidents since January 2023. So Georgia has consistently been in the media for bad behavior, bad things going on. What is going on in Athens? What is happening in Athens? That is my question for the show. That is my question forever at this point. What is going on? And I blame the leaders because you lead from the front. The behavior is just unacceptable. You cannot force people to do anything that they don't want them to do. You can't. But this is your program, and you're leading it, and it just seems like it's like a circus over there. And the thing is, they're so good. They're so good. But they can't stay out of trouble. What is going on there? I need some answers. I need answers. What do you all think about this? I need to know what you all think about this. I really need to know. This is crazy. This is literally dog nation. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Y'all better leave these girls alone. Just leave them alone. Don't stop putting your don't touch them. Don't do it. Leave them alone. Stop drinking and driving. Learn from the examples that were made and the mistakes that were made before you. Learn from them. Okay? Learn from them. It's not okay. I'm going to keep you updated on this, though, as I can go through some more articles and figure out more of what exactly happened and why he came out all mad and fiery in the first place. I do feel like something is missing there. I feel like a piece of the story is missing because we don't know. I feel like we don't know everything and all the details yet. But again, it is an active investigation. So as it unfolds, I will be sure to bring it to you. Now, moving on to our last topic of the show, game of the week. Okay, college game of the week was very hard for me to decide and decipher, but honestly, it really was just only one that could actually do it. For college football, the game of the week was Vandy beating Alabama, and as you see, the students on the goalpost, that's what I saw when I was watching them. And I'm like, bro, get it down already. And then, you know what? I really think that they was fine because they literally walked the goalpost all the way through downtown Nashville and threw it in the river. So, I mean, if you're going to take our property, don't throw it in the river. You walked it all the way down. They interrupted everybody's plans. They interrupted everybody's plans down there in Nashville, downtown, because they said, we're taking the goalpost, we're walking it down, we're throwing it in the river. That's just what we're going to do because we won the natty. We won the natty against Alabama. And if y'all see the little clip, if I clip this, no, I didn't actually win the natty. You get what I'm saying? And then the NFL game of the week for me, a game that I was like, what are y'all doing? Was the Cincinnati versus Baltimore game. So at the very end, it went into OT. And the Ravens had the ball, and I thought they were going to get it. They did end up winning, but I'm saying, like, when they first had the ball in OT, I thought they were going to win. And then Lamar does like a triple clap thing to get the ball, and then he fumbles the ball. Cincinnati recovers the ball. It's now their ball. All they have to do is get a field goal. And they only played like they had to get a field goal. They literally got the ball back and did 3 running plays. And none of them got them a little bit closer to the field goal. And I just feel like you don't chance a game like that. You do not chance your game in OT by not playing the ball as if you don't need a touchdown to win. The goal should have been to get a touchdown. And if you did not get a touchdown, then you settle for that field goal, not to just try to quickly end the game. And then you're like, oh, we're going to do 3 run plays that were unsuccessful. And then you send your field goal kicker out there and you ice him. You ice him because you call a timeout when he's about to get on the field. You ice him and the ball holder. And then when you come off a timeout, you put him out there, and then the ball holder grabs the ball, but then he like kind of slips and like falls. And then when homeboy kicks the ball, it's ugly and goes to the far. If we're looking at it like this, it goes to the far left. What? And Baltimore gets the ball back, gives it to Derrick Henry. Boom, 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 boom. And they score. And they win. Child, that game had me on the edge of my seat. I'm not a fan of neither. Y'all know who I'm a fan of. But I just was like, what are we doing here? Somebody needs to get fired. literally what I said. Somebody needs to get fired because what was that? Why would you play the ball like that? But either way, it was a back and forth game, super highly competitive game. Looked good. The Bengals looked really, really good for the first time in a long time. In my opinion, they just literally fumbled that win. So anyway, that's the show, guys. Please make sure that you are liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all of those things at MTMV Sports as well as PG Love Sports. This is my weekly show for the Pretty Spectacular Football Show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.